Hey there, this is your pal Pallie, and welcome back to Overrated. We're up to episode number 3, and this week we're going to be taking a look at another deep dive. I'm going to do this one from the perspective of my hunter on a Garrosh 10-man normal kill. As you know, I raid on 2 tunes. You've seen the Holy Paladin in an early episode, now you're seeing the hunter. This footage is from first kill, I've gotten more gear since then. I don't think I had 4-piece hunter set in this place, but anywho, you get a chance to see a lot of the tips and tricks and a lot of things for hunter DPS. Now, there's a big difference in critiquing a healing versus DPS. Healing's all about like reacting. Oh, this first. Okay, I gotta click it. Okay, I could do this. DPS is make sure you are hitting a button 99.9% of the time. And if you're not, you're doing something wrong. So this is going to be a little interesting. Again, I've said in the first episode, I'm not, the best hunter out there, so don't take all of this as canon and you're going to, magically down all these bosses because of what I tell you. But this really gives me a chance, once again, to look at what I'm doing DPS-wise, rotation-wise, the mistakes I make, and hopefully you guys learn something here. Also, at the end of this, go into a little bit of the World of Logs part of, I mentioned World of Logs, we talked about World of Logs in the last episode, but, maybe get a little further into what I would do with World of Logs to see how I did. So, without further ado, Garrosh 10-man normal mode. Now, I'm going to flip over to the video, but I'm going to stop it really quick because I want to talk about something really important, which is pre-potting. So, in this, I will be pre-potting here. In fact, I'm about to use it. I stopped it perfectly. Wow, I'm good at this. I stopped it perfectly before I actually hit the pre-pot button. So, pre-potting is one of those things that you, as a DPS class, just about everyone should learn how to do this. And all it really means, you may hear pre-potting, you may hear double potting. It's the same thing. What it means is, right before the pull, you use a potion, whatever potion is appropriate for your spec class, whatever, and then the pull happens. And you get to use the 20-some seconds, whatever it is of a potion during the first part of the pull. Your procs from all your trinkets are working, and it's just a big time to do some good DPS. And so Blizzard is apparently going to go away from this mode of thing, this type of like stacking everything on the pull, but I think pre-potting is going to be there still anyway. They're going to change stuff related to trinkets and procs and other stuff, I'm sure. That's for Warlords of Draenor once we get there. But pre-potting is probably still going to be a thing, and you really want to make sure you capture this. So always use it a few seconds before the pull. Get your tanks used to you pre-potting, because you pre-pot and they don't pull at exactly 0 and you start shooting, you're going to get aggro, you're going to die, and then you're a dead DPS, and as raid leaders across the world know, a dead DPS does 0 DPS, so don't be that guy. As a hunter, I get to misdirect, so, maybe I get to avoid some of that fun. But you still want to do the pre-pot so that later when you get to Lust, or another time when your big cooldowns are up, you can use a second potion. So that's the double part of this. Double potion, pre-potting, whatever. So, pay attention. Pre-potting. I'm going to hit it, and then I'm going to start using my first things. I've been used to in Throne of Thunder. I think you'll see this because this is only like the 3rd week of raiding. I was used to using my Cobra Shot to open up, which in Throne of Thunder gear procced your little lightning guys that, got you extra damage. So I was still used to that. If you're a caster, this still applies, so, you should be casting something, fireball, whatever, at the boss right as it's about to pull. Again, get your tanks used to that kind of stuff, because otherwise you're a dead DPS. But, anywho, I've used Cobra Shot. I went through all my cooldowns. We breezed through that kind of stuff. I don't have a perfect opening rotation for you. I'm playing Survival here. I play it as much as Beast Mastery. Here I played Survival because I was responsible for the engineers. But, whatever works for you, for whatever you're used to. I'm also responsible, as you can see. I'm beating down on the little weapon things, and here I go doing a nice little disengage, turn around, go kill some engineers. So that's a little fun stuff I like to do with. Now that I have the trinket that gives me a really low cooldown, and I use the talent for a low cooldown on disengage, you can use it all the frickin' time. It's like 6 seconds before it's up again. So, anywho, here's one piece that I'd like to point out. We're about to push Garrosh. He's going to be in his 10% phase. Yeehaw, we're going to get him flipped over. Here comes an ad. Now, as Survival, one of the things you need to pay attention to, oh look, I just put Black Arrow on the frickin' ad. So that's like not good. Black Arrow is one of the major dots for Survival, and it's a pretty long cooldown. Even if you have the trinket from Shaw of Pride, it's a pretty long cooldown. And it does a lot of damage. And you want to put it on something that's going to last a long time. Why did I put it on the ad? It's like almost dead already. It got hit by the Iron Star. Why? Why did I do that? I know Garrosh was doing his little RP thing and he's not full health. Well, now he is. But look, I've got like another 7-8 seconds before I can put Black Arrow on him. So there's bad usage of Black Arrow. Don't do that. Yeah, I don't know why I did that. Anywho, going through the rest of this, Survival has some good AoE to cleave these guys down. This is, if you've seen this part of the fight, there's not too much to this. You're killing ads, you're picking up the little circles that fly out. I don't know if I get one in this particular instance, but anywho, there's nothing special going on here. One thing I would mention while during these intermission phases is this is a real, heavy damage, hard, oh man, Annihilate's going out, we take a bunch of damage, but you really have to rely on your healers to do their thing here, as opposed to, popping deterrence or something, because as a hunter, deterrence is a great cooldown. 50% damage reduction, and then like 100% spell reflect, and you get to get out of jail in a lot of senses on mechanics, but right here, you're still wanting to be doing DPS, and you can't use deterrence to take that away for a full 5 seconds. So, don't use deterrence in that case. So, we're back to the second phase, phase 2. A lot of fun stuff I like to do is turn around, Again, I use disengage a lot. It's fun. And if you have that glyph, you get to get like a small heal out. It's like 30k or something, but whatever. It's 30k, your healers don't have to heal you. So, once again, we're getting people out of mind controls, and here's, a Whirling Corruption. Here's another time where you could use deterrence, but you probably shouldn't. Our healers have got it covered, nice little bubble. You could reduce the damage, but it's probably more important on a fight like this to just keep doing your DPS, keep your rotation up. And so, I'm keeping my Black Arrow out, keeping Serpent Sting. I haven't noticed yet. I haven't been paying too close attention, but I haven't noticed yet if I've let Serpent Sting fall off for a long time. And you never know. But one thing, now that the mind controls just went out, I want to mention on this fight in particular, you kind of don't want to slaughter your friends and put like 4 explosive shots in their face. So be careful on the mind controls here, because you can kill your people. One thing I also know right here, you can see to the left of me is my pet. This is one of the unfortunate bugs that happens in this encounter, and I don't remember it in this pull. I remember it in other ones, and I remember it later in the fight, but your pet just sits there and does nothing after coming out of one of those transitions. So, here's a bug. I don't know if they'll get around to fixing that. The fix for yourself is just to manually tell your pet to attack the target that you're on. Like the assist function just gets broken. So, whatever. For survival, it's not as big of a deal. Your pet DPS is like, I don't know, I'll have to look it up lately. I haven't checked it lately, but maybe like 15, 20% of your overall DPS. For Beast Mastery, though, you really don't want your pet sitting there doing nothing because that's bad. And maybe it doesn't happen as much on Beast Mastery, but you'll notice it a lot quicker on Beast Mastery because you'll be trying to use Kill Command, and it won't be working because your pet's nowhere in range, unless you have that talent. Anyway, you'll see it quicker in that sense. But so we're off to another transition. Yeehaw! Nothing special here again. But while we're in this transition, I mentioned I am using, talent-wise, I'm using Fervor for my regen of focus and whatnot. You could use Dire Beast or Thrill of the Hunt. I think simming-wise, they've come out to say that like Thrill of the Hunt's better. I just honestly don't like the style. So in the end, I mean, some of this stuff is like a 1%, 2% difference, and some of that might get you a different kill, might get you better stuff, but it really comes down to I like playing with the Fervor style better because I feel like, okay, I can think ahead. Okay, Fervor's coming off cooldown. I'm going to make sure I've got Black Arrow used up. I make sure I use all my lock and load procs, like right here. Lock and load, okay, cool. Fervor's another few seconds away. I know I'll be able to burst out a whole bunch of arcane shots, which would be cool because right here, bam, we've got a bunch of people mind controlled, and you kind of want to be able to do a bunch of arcane shots on them and not put like explosive shots and serpent stings and all that kind of stuff. So, and of course, you always want to be using your other cooldowns. Let me go back to the deterrence thing. This would be a great place to actually use deterrence unless you will need to pick up an ad real quick or do something. So here's another piece where I'm actually end up using, I'd use Distracting Shot to get this ad off of a healer, and the ad came to me. Now eventually went over to the tank who had some monster aggro stuff going on, but whatever. Here's a piece where you get to use some of those little known utilities and actually taunt something. Yeah, this is a place where you should taunt something. You kill your own little ad and then you get one off of a healer, because I guarantee there's going to be 2 or 3 sticking on your healers. So, pay attention to that. As I said, see, my pet is actually behaving. It's actually going where it's supposed to. But, here's a place where you could use deterrence, like I said. There's a lot of stuff going on, but you kind of want to pick up ads. In later phases, strategy-wise, you'll actually see me using deterrence because I'm so far away from heals. People get spread out, all that other fun jazz. So, just once again, we're trying to we're trying to get this guy into the next phase quicker, and we're trying to avoid having to, take that 5 seconds of downtime for deterrence. So we're getting close to the next 10% phase. So he'll be heading into phase 3 coming up here. This is where it gets mad in this phase, all that kind of fun jazz. One thing I'd mention about cooldowns and everything, so I didn't plan this one out very well. We're about to hit Lust here fairly soon, and I don't have a lot of cooldowns up. I don't have anything up, in fact. I have my potion still. It's still hanging out there. I use it right now, but, I don't have anything else up. We have Lust, so that's cool, but I don't have don't have Stampede. Stampede's not like, oh my god, game breaking anymore, but you still want to use it when you have a lot of things up. So right now I finally got my cooldowns back up. I got Rapid Fire and I got Fervor, but it's just kind of like, wish I had saved that Stampede, so this would have been the best time for it. Here's Deterrence. Yay, finally. And after those ads come out, we move in for mind controls and whatnot. This is getting down to the end. We're all getting freaked out, but the biggest part of this fight is interrupting the heck out of people, and you just have to be ready to trigger that. You just have to be ready to get them out and use your counter shot. So Just have that right and handy. And here I deterrence again to get out of that massive thing, and boss, someone's ready to die. Come on. Yeah, I'm so far away from healers. I'm such in a bad position here, but whatever. Yay, boss is dead, and I got the. I'm sorry. I got the dang BOA weapon on the first pull. Sorry. I know a lot of people are having trouble getting one to even drop, but yeah, I got it on the first one. Sorry. Anywho, that's the first run through the video. Not sure how many other points I want to get into the fight. There's, the rotation for survival is all about using up your lock and load procs, keeping Serpent Sting, keeping Black Arrow up, all that other fun stuff. And then just, I guess it's a weird thing. I feel like I'm comfortable in the rotation I've got at this point that it's kind of hard to describe it. I put an article up on blizzmasters.com, which you should go check out that site too, because I write for them as a hunter. And I talked about the Beastmastery rotation, and it was just like, as I was writing this article, I thought, wow, this is all just automatic now. It's hard to write it for someone who's learning a hunter or just wants some tips and stuff, because there's so much of that just practicing thing that is, going on a training dummy, or just raid after raid after raid, you just get better at the rotation. And as a DPS class, that's really what it comes down to. You gotta practice. You gotta have that muscle. You gotta be, okay, doing this. All right, moving here. You have to practice it. You have to do it over and over again. And once you do, and especially in a fight where you've been working on it over and over again, I don't know how many, I think we did maybe 45 pulls on Garrosh, maybe more, but it's like a long fight. It's like 10 plus minutes. In the end, I think this kill was like 10 minutes, 30 seconds, something like that. You just keep getting used to that rotation, and you start figuring out when to time cooldowns. In this actual video, I didn't do good on my Stampede and stuff, but you can start to remember, okay, we're about to head into the second transition. I've got Stampede up. Oh, I probably shouldn't cast it because we're going to be heading in to phase 3 soon, and that's our lost time. So you start to get used to those timings of a fight if you're doing it over and over again. And a lot of that, this is tangent, but whatever. This is one of those raid philosophy things where even if you have the 10, this is some things that happen at 10 mans. Even if you have the same 10 raiders and you tell someone, okay, tonight we're going to have you tank instead of you, that just throws off those two people who have switched roles just enough to make a significant difference, in which the raid just feels a bit more janky because someone has to get used to that different role. Like, having gone through all of these fights on 2 different tunes, I learned the hunter part first. We did well in my hunters group getting through things, and now we're working on some fun heroics and such. But going through the same fights on my paladin, I was like, oh, I didn't notice that this was a problem, or this was a really hard time to heal. Then, going back to it on my hunter, it's like, yeah, that swelling pride thing on Shaw of Pride really actually hurts. And hey, I have a minute cooldown on deterrence with talents, charges, whatever. Maybe I should pop it then and save my healers a lot of pain and suffering, because I remember how hard it was when I was healing it. So, if you have the opportunity to raid on multiple tunes, do it, because you'll get nice insights like this. But what it really comes down to is you can play your hunter even better, having seen a lot of it and having practiced it a lot of it. So get out there, get on a training dummy and practice, do some stuff. for just to wrap this up, I'm going to show the World of Vlogs, not from this exact kill because that was too many weeks ago. We don't have the premium stuff for World of Vlogs anyway. World of Vlogs deletes reports after a certain amount of time, so I don't have that exact thing. But I do have a recent kill from my hunters group that has stuff, that has good stuff in it. So this is a little bit of evaluating DPS, but I'll probably have a separate one on that. But one of the things to look for in evaluating a DPS is the active time. So that's this last column here. You'll see mine is 95%. Not a fight where there's a little bit of running around, there's a little bit of, hey, you gotta go down the stairs for that thing. And plus, I was given the job of the siege engineer, so I have to run out of the raid, go do that thing, and then come back. And there's a lot of downtime running around if I don't have a target nearby. 95%'s pretty good. You can see our other sort of top DPS, our range DPS, like 96%, 96%, 96%. So pretty good. Some 99%'s there. Good job, guys. But anywho, this is World of Vlogs, great tool, all that kind of stuff. Check the last episode if you want, a bit more of an introduction to it. But you can see here, and hey, let's do a quick mental calculation. If my DPS was 235k, 190 was this. What's that math? Do some math. Here we go. So it's looking like, yeah, 15, 20% of my DPS is survival. I do it as Beast Mastery, it's a lot more. So again, here's those ways to show what your pet's doing versus what you're doing. And here's also a way to see, hey, I didn't have my pet attacking something because its active time wasn't the same as mine. And maybe you had to move it from here to there. Another one of those tweaks to look at. But anywho, if you drill down into the actual character on that pole and whatnot, you get lots of cool, fun stuff. So let's dig into this just for a little bit, I promise. One really fun thing to do is to take, in Beast Mastery this is a little easier to do, in Survival it's not so much because you get procs of your signature shot. So signature shot, if you don't know what I mean, is like if you're Beast Mastery, kill command. If you're Survival, explosive shot. Those types of main shots that you want to be doing, you kind of want to be using them as much as possible. So in Beast Mastery, it's on a 5-6 second cooldown. You could take a log like this and go over it and be like, okay, this fight was 1,000 seconds or whatever. If the cooldown on kill command is only 5 seconds, how many kill commands should I get in there? And so that's what? 200? So you should have 200 kill shots, or kill commands, within a log if you were playing Beast Mastery perfect. You're not going to. Maybe you have 180. That's actually probably pretty damn good. But if you only had 100, that meant like your kill command was off cooldown for like 2, 3, 4 seconds before you actually used it. So you weren't using your signature shot. You weren't using your big hitting abilities as much as you possibly could. So for Survival, unfortunately, you get the lock and load procs, which show up just as explosive shot. So you don't know how many of those procced per kill. So I can't give you a good measurement of, yeah, I did awesome in this fight because I had 70 hits and 56 crits. Yeah, I was awesome. But you can look at things like Glaive Toss is my level 90 talent that I was using for this fight. It has a 15-second cooldown, so I can take the whole time of this fight, divide up that I hit 35 total. And I think one of this, I'm not sure quite how this works out, but one is it going out and one is it coming back if it hits anything in the way. So this one's probably a bad example as well. But anyway, you get the idea. You can take some of these shots and just divide it out over the amount of time and see, did you maximize the amount of time with those big shots, those big things that you're supposed to be doing? It really doesn't matter how many arcane shots you got off. So you could take a look at another hunter's log and be like, well, he did 60 arcane shots and I only did 50 over the same period of time. Maybe it's doing better or worse. Maybe I got more explosive shots out because I got more lock and load. Just stuff like that, things like that. It's probably easier to compare with Beast Mastery in terms of a hunter, but you get the idea. You can dig into that kind of stuff. Healing by spell doesn't really matter. Damage by actor. And this just shows you what targets you were hitting. So in my case, I had a lot of DPS time on desecrated weapons. And, depending on your strategy, maybe you don't kill as many of those weapons. Maybe I could have put some more DPS into Garrosh. Whatever. But you can see I was responsible for the siege engineers, so no one else should have siege engineers listed under what they were attacking. But, this is a nice little thing to see. This is a good section for you raid leaders to look at to see, hey, are people actually switching targets to the thing that I'm telling them to switch off to? So, if it was important for everyone to be cleaving the ads, do you see a whole bunch of Warbringer DPS? Do you see people attacking these Warbringers? Again, this is a good section to go person by person and say, are you attacking the target that you're supposed to be attacking? So, take a look at this one. Damage by actor. And then the fun two sections to look at and play with are things like buff gain and buff casts. So, here's one where you get to see the amount of times you use stuff like Fervor and see how many procs of lock and load you had. But Fervor is a good one. It's a 30-second cooldown, so I should be using it just about every 30 seconds, and so this interval should be pretty regular. You can see there was a fairly significant gap here. Might want to take a look back at the footage and see why that gap was there. Here's another one. Maybe this is the transition period, whatever, or I'm saving it up for something. Or it could be I got a whole bunch of lock and load procs at the same time, and I didn't want to waste Fervor, so I had to get rid of those and then get rid of some focus, and then I should use it. So that you can put like Fervor up there, and then you can also put like, here's my other cooldowns, rapid fire. So again, it sort of looks like I'm using this every to whatever it comes out with the trinket. But about regularly, this looks like it's working. So, where else? See that I double potted. If you're trying to make sure people are double potting, obviously looking for their pot name and making sure there's 2 of them. Okay, pretty simple. But being able to see Serpent Sting uptime is a really nice one for hunters. So let me click here. Yay! All right, here's Serpent Sting. So the colors really don't matter too. It just sort of matters that there's a full, this is full the whole way across, and the uptime is close to 100%, because it really shouldn't for a hunter fall off unless there's something going on. So for example, maybe this is us. Maybe it's me playing bad and just messing up and not having Serpent Sting up or not noticing it for a certain period of time. But this could be we went to a transition. That one where you have to like run all the way down the hall before you actually attack anything. Maybe that's what this is. These similar pieces could be I went over to kill the siege engineer and Garrosh's, Serpent Sting fell off. Just things like that. This probably isn't this is a maybe mediocre uptime for Serpent Sting. It should be pretty high depending on the fight. But anyway, you get an idea of that. Here's the magic one, black arrow. So here's, like, right here, one of these gaps is probably something of the circumstance like I had where I put black arrow on something that died in 3 seconds, and then for a big gap of time, it wasn't on something that needed to. So black arrow is one of those ones you probably, this doesn't look great. Again, this is not the exact pull that we just watched, but this has, you know, the same fight mechanics and everything, and I don't use black arrow for this huge gap of time. What happened? What was I doing? So that's stuff to pay attention to. But anyway, you get the idea. You get the idea where you can stack all these things up on this graph and just see what went on. So that's it for World of Logs for now. So anyway, to review, went through a Garrosh Normal kill. Got to see a lot of fun tips and tricks along the way, when to use CDs, you know, how to pre-pot, how I did in terms of this fight, in terms of 100 DPS, and you know, just a lot of fun stuff. So hope you guys learned something, and you know, post some comments below. Hit me up on Twitter at @GetterRaid, or on Hangspot in the forums. I'm Pallie over there, because I am your pal Pallie. And this has been Overrated episode number 3, talking about a deep dive of Garrosh Normal mode. Again, thanks again, guys, for watching. Subscribe, and appreciate all the new subscribers. Sorry, one more second. Really love it. Really love that more people are finding these videos, and, you know, hope they're becoming useful. I got some good comments offline about them, so thanks. Appreciate that. And there's a cat there. There's actually a cat up above. I'll have to show my setup one time. It's freaking awesome. It's so janky. Anywho, appreciate it. Subscribe. See your pal Pallie. Have a good one, guys.